So I welcome all of you for discussing the most important current affairs of social issues last 1 year. And these will give you sure short hits in this year mains and next year mains. These are so important. Now let me club the current affairs topics into one big topic. So the first four topics are related to caste system. Okay. Then we will be discussing about the social issues related to women, child marriages, dowry system, etc. And manual scavenging is part of caste system only, so you can club it with the issues with respect to the caste discrimination only. Then we will be discussing about the tribal communities in India and their problems, the issue they face. And then we will discuss about language agitations and identity politics. It comes under regionalism only in one spectrum. Globalization. So there is now a wave of deglobalization or hyper-nationalism. Now, for this year, this is extremely important, Gen Z and democratic engagement. So you must be knowing about the CJP, Cockroach Janata Party, and all these protests which is happening. So this is important for this year means maybe this year it will come or next year it will come. Social media, impact on youth and society. So these two are interrelated since Gen Z and democratic engagement also started from social media itself. And then we will discuss about demographic transition. There could be a possible question about the demographic transition, demographic window of opportunity, the TFR rate, the change in TFR rate, rise in elderly population. And transgender persons, protection of rights amendment bill, there were lots of controversy with respect to this bill. Menstrual leave, since Honorable Supreme Court has given a judgment. Then child trafficking in India is a persisting problem. Slumification, urban doom loop. This can be a bouncer for this year examination. That is why I have included it. There were several newspaper articles with respect to this term. Then marriage system. Displacement by coal mining. This is a problem specifically faced by tribal peoples. Family system and exchange, marriage and exchange. This is always very, very important. Cancel culture related to social media. And then globalization 4.0. So these are the topics which we will discuss. Now let's start with the caste system. So before studying the chapter 1 transformation of caste in India, we need to study the caste system historical background and why it persists. So it is one of the oldest form of social stratification. What is social stratification? See, there can be difference between me and you. It can be based on appearances. It can be based on your food and attire, anything. But if I attach value to these differences, and not only I attach value, but I'm also ranking them based on the differences. Some are considered to be better, some are considered to be inferior, superior and inferior. Then it becomes stratification. So every individual can have differences. It can be based on color, it can be based on anything. But when I'm attaching value that whites are superior and blacks are inferior, then it becomes stratification. And not only that, based on the ranking, we are also awarding people who are on top of hierarchy and we are punishing people who are on the bottom of hierarchy. This is the system of social stratification, and caste is one of the oldest form of social stratification in the Indian society. And it is based on ascription. What is ascription? Ascription means birth-based. So your privileges will be birth-based rather than achievement-based. This is the basic difference between caste and class. Class is something which you can attain through education, through working hard and earning money. But your caste is something which stays with you. This is ascriptive-based. And the common notion which makes it possible, this entire system, is purity and pollution. What is purity and what is pollution? So certain activities, certain things are considered pure, like vegetarianism is considered as pure, and non-vegetarianism is considered as pollution. Women in menstruation cycle is considered as pollution. Okay, and because of this notion, purity and pollution, this entire caste system architecture works. It started with a Varna system, okay, 4 Varna system, and then it evolved into more than 25,000 subcastes, which is called as jatis. Okay. Now, the most abhorrent part of this caste system is untouchability. And this is again based on purity and pollution. So, avarnas or untouchables, okay, they are considered as polluted. So, previously, what used to happen? If an upper caste is walking on the street, so the shadow of the lower caste should not be even casting on the upper caste. So, they used to clap so that they can hear and they will stop. So, this was the kind of practice, untouchability, which was practiced in the India. And many parts of India still it persists. We have 2 Indias, 2 realities. One is India and second is Bharat. So in India, we may see some positive changes, but Bharat still have those persistent social evils practiced. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. Now, there are certain characteristics. So caste system has first characteristic which I talked about was ascription. So it is birth-based. Second is it is hierarchical. So certain castes are considered purer, certain castes are considered polluted. Okay, and this is a kind of a triangle structure which you can make. So upper caste having the least population will come on the top of the hierarchy, and the so-called untouchables in the lower hierarchy. Okay, then endogamy, that is marriage within the caste. We have to marry within the caste. If it is not done so, if a upper caste women marry the lower caste men, then what will happen? Honor killings. You must have seen it. Okay. Anuloma form of marriage and Pratiloma form of marriage. Anuloma form of marriage is sanctioned in caste system. That is, if a woman is from inferior caste, can marry upper caste man. This is called as Anuloma. Pratiloma means that women is from upper caste, men is from lower caste. This is not allowed in the caste system. Okay. Then we have occupational fixity. So the caste name itself was from the particular occupation that they are practicing. Like we had Kumhars. So they were traditionally practicing the pottery makings. So the one caste is also talking about the division of labor which exists. Then purity of pollution that I told you, ritual purity leading to discrimination. And why caste is still existing in India, despite so many legislations, our constitutional articles, our statutory articles. So these things are making it still possible to continue. Endogamy is still the dominant form of religious practices. And that is why in India you will see there is a very unique kind of marriage system, which is called arranged marriage. If you travel and read all the literatures across the world, the 90% of the world doesn't even know this term, what is called as arranged marriage. How a marriage can be arranged. Now, arranged marriage is being done or is present in India to ensure endogamy. Okay. And we have political mobilization. So parties are mobilizing along the caste lines. There are also demand of reservation, like for Maratha, Jat reservation. Okay. And you must have seen Meena reservation agitation. So all of this is still making it prevalent. Then we have economic inequality. So historical disadvantages are not going away. People may come to you and say, okay, now what is the relevance of caste? But if the caste inequality is still persisting, the caste will also remain. And then we have institutional biases. You must have seen the recent UGC bill, and there was a lot of controversy. But the fact of the matter is the rejection of many of the candidates belonging to SC and ST category were based on prejudices. Because if you go in the top of the hierarchy is still maintained by the dominant or the ritually purer caste. So there is institutional biases as well. Okay. And social mindset, you must have heard about Rohit Vemula and so many other incidences. I've given all the examples in this. I will be reading them. You don't need to read anything else. Everything is there. Data, government schemes, everything. Okay. This is a very comprehensive document. Even intro and conclusion is there. Now, some factors are changing the caste system, like urbanization. So cities had created new kinds of jobs, which was not earmarked or designated according to the historical caste system. Okay. So mixed caste workplaces, specifically in your IT sector or services sector, BPOs, KPOs. So this new occupations are not caste-based, is bringing a sort of change. Social mobilities, there are two forms of social mobility. One is cultural social mobility, that is through Sanskritization, imitating the style of food or the way of life of Dvija or Brahmins. So adoption of vegetarianism by certain OBC communities is a part of this. This is cultural mobility. Structural mobility will come only with land ownership and second, education system. So according to various reports, the land ownership also have increased in the last 70 years of OBC category. There is improvement, and that is why you will see after the Mandal politics, they have become more assertive and they have become more dominant in the politics of the country as well. Education is the one of the most important, perhaps the most important thing which can provide a social mobility. I mean, within this generation, not you have to go to the next generation. Within this generation, it can provide social mobility. And political and legal reforms, so reservation policies and democratic politics. So these also provide a political and legal reforms which are providing them rights. Okay. But still, all the social evils which are present, what is the way forward? See, whenever you will write way forward, one will be legal. Always legal. So legal means now in India, enforcement is so poor. So poor. CBI has very abysmal conviction rate. ED has same issues, less than 5% conviction rate. Police has a very poor conviction rate. Okay. So legal hurdle is that enforcement is very, very weak. And our judiciary. So one person committed crime in his young age, got punished when he became 80, 90 years old. Now, this is something which will never create a deterrence which is needed. So always legal point of view, this is a universal thing. See, we need to learn these universal points. When we will learn universal points, we will be able to write answers with ease. So one is legal and it will be applicable in every social issue that you know. Okay. Second way forward, you will write is about educational reforms. What type of educational reform is needed? So education should be inclusive. One word, inclusive. Okay. Second is equitable. And third, accessible. Inclusive means it should include the needs of all. If tribals have to study, their education should happen in local languages. This is called as inclusive. Equitable means anybody can enroll in, say, for example, if they want to become civil servant, they can enroll in coaching institutes funded by government. That will make it equitable. Accessible. So a girl's college is 70 kilometers from my home. Will she be allowed to go there? Specifically in rural areas. It's impossible. It's very, very difficult. So education should be inclusive, equitable, and accessible. This is your master point. Okay. Then we need to account. If we want to address a problem, we need to first account it well. Like if we want to address mental health issue, can we handle this problem without accounting? Is it possible? It's impossible. So what gets accounted gets solved. This is one thing which you will write in on the answer. And social awareness. Social awareness is the next master point which you will write. See, we have made legislations, constitutional laws, anything, but without a social awareness, social levels will never go away. And thus you will write that we need to collaborate with the NGOs, we need to collaborate with the panchayats, okay? We need to collaborate with the celebrities and need to persuade people. Then only the real change at the ground level will come. Ashas are, ANM, Anganwadi workers and Ashas, they are very, very instrumental in increasing the awareness because they are from their community, okay? They are from same village. So they can persuade more easily compared to a DM. Okay, so this is what you need to write in all the social issues. This can be a good way forward. And when you are concluding as well, you will talk about the true social transformation demand moving just beyond legal prohibition to address the structural roots of the caste inequality. These are the structural roots. These are the structural roots. These needs to be addressed. Then only the real changes will come through education, economic equity, and democratic deepening. Okay. So this is the basic of caste system. If you know this, you can answer any question. Let me now connect the dots from this article to this article. Transformation of caste in India. We already discussed it. Some of the factors. So how the caste is getting transformed? Previously, if you see, when the nation got independent in the 1947, see all the leaders. They all came from one class. That is English educated and mostly from the upper caste, primarily Brahmins. After 1970s, after the total revolution, you will see that this changed. The political elite now comprised of majorly OBCs who have considerable land and they are not ritually inferior. Okay, they are not untouchables. So after you will see the Mandal commission and all of this, you will see in Bihar, Lalu Yadav will become chief minister, in Uttar Pradesh, Mulayam Singh Yadav, and in all across India, you will see this changing. And then the third change that you will observe is post LPG reforms. You will also see Dalit-based political parties like BSP rising. Okay, so this is how the power dynamics is changing. They are asserting their numbers. Okay, and because of the reservation, their contribution or their participation in government sector is also increasing. So this you need to know. Now, the second is the subtle discrimination still exists. You may say that, okay, they are asserting their rights, their position is increasing, but there is hidden biases. There is a taboo. Once one IS officer is posted in certain district, the first thing they will inquire is caste. He's from reserved category. Then suddenly all the respect that they gave will diminish. This is a taboo. And this still exists in the nation. And if you have read a book, Khaki, the Bihar chapter, written by IPS Amit Loda, he also talked about this in great length, that how his caste was the first thing that was asked. Okay. And this is a persistent problem. So this is still going under the carpet. We have occupational mobilities. We have assertion of the political identity that I discussed. However, again, I will tell you, there is a two reality. There is India, there is Bharat. In village, you will go, the caste system is still practiced. In village, you will go, the occupation is still majorly based on the caste system. And when they migrate as well, because they do not own land, they do not have good education, when they migrate, what happens? They are living in slums. They are living in a deplorable condition. They are engaging in things like mineral scavenging, working in informal sector. So they are being harassed more and more. Okay. We have government initiatives which you will write in every answer, every caste-based answer. This will be common. So you will talk about the constitutional articles. Article 14, the equality before law. Article 15, prohibits discrimination on ground of caste. 16, granting equal access to public employment. And Article 17 declares untouchability illegal. You can also discuss the DPSP. Article 46 promotes educational and economic interest of weaker section. We have legal measures as well, like protection of civil rights. Then we have SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. And this is PMSR Act, which bans the manual scavenging. We have many government schemes as well, like post-matric scholarship scheme, Stand Up India to promote entrepreneurship. PM Ajay reduces poverty of SC communities by generating additional employment opportunities. Okay. But the social prejudice, you must have heard, these stories that a Dalit is getting married and he's doing gurchari, and then there are upper castes who are getting offended. Every second day you will hear such news. Or asserting identity on the car or on the vehicle. This is also something which is illegal for everyone. But if it is done by the so-called erstwhile depressed caste, then it is being subject to even violence. Okay. As I told you, law enforcement will come everywhere. Economic deprivation is the soul of the caste inequality in the country. And the way forward will be always what I told you, 4 or 5 things you have to write it. Okay. Now, equality is not a privilege, it is a basic necessity. So you will write it. So ending caste inequality is something which will not just require law. You will talk about that. We need to reform in a comprehensive manner. This is again a universal kind of a conclusion that you can write. And caste-based violence in India is another part of the caste-based inequality. So violence can be of many types. One can be a physical violence like assaults, lynching, like mob attacks on Dalits for asserting a right or accessing public places. It can be social exclusion, that is called as social violence, denying entry into temple, not allowing them to access public water, not allowing them the same kind of dignity in the villages. Or it can be economic violence, bounded labor, giving them less wages than they deserve, denial of wages, denial of land rights. Then gendered violence. So Dalit women, as I told you, intersectional identity. A Dalit poor women are living in the rural area. There is economic inequality, there is caste inequality, there is a gender inequality. Cultural violence that I talked about, the honor killing, etc., is based on the cultural violence. Okay. Digital harassment, mocking, trolling, online abuse, and surveillance, and whatnot. Okay. And then this is the institutional and legal framework that is common. Key drivers is, you can see, endogamy is something which leads to the marriage control that leads to caste violence. So we have example of El Lanji massacre in Maharashtra in 2006. You can quote this. This is a very good example. Patriarchal control. There is an example of Chandrika Chaudhary case, Gujarat 2025. Or the power hierarchy. So they want dominant caste want to control land and institutions. Now we have like things like Ha Panchayats. They want to enforce boycotts and oppress intercaste marriages. We have very weak enforcement that you will write it. We had the case of Una Dalit flogging incidents and very low conviction rate is. Their implication is that their rights are subdued, they are socially fragmented, they are still economically disadvantaged, and the governance system remains abysmally poor and weak. So we need to have fast efforts. Justice should be done fast as well. Okay, it should not be 40 years, 50 years. Police reforms, the accountability of police. See, a poor woman, a Dalit woman being raped, reaches to a police station. What is the guarantee that even the case will be registered? This is the reality of police, and this is not said by me. This is said by people who have worked as DGP in past, like Prakash Singh. There are many retired IPS officers. They have remarked that, okay, now I have retired and I fear that my children should not ever go to police station as I know the reality exists there. So police reform is a must. To clean corruption, we need to make police not a controlling force. It is still a colonial and controlling force. It is still trying to create terror and fear among people. So that is not the job of police. People do not want to go to the police station, even if a crime is subjected to them. Social awareness is very, very low. People living in Jharkhand, in the tribal areas, they even don't know about their rights. Okay, and marriage protection. It is a part of fundamental rights. State has to protect the couple. So this has to be the way forward. Okay. India must move from punitive legislation to transformative social reform. These are the keywords which you can use in your answer. And another manifestation of caste-based discrimination is in higher education. So what happens? See, first of all, when you reach also the higher education, you have studied from a government school. You are not so good in pronunciation. You are not so good in English. You will be bifurcated. Okay, you will be trolled. All of this will happen. This leads to emotional breakdown, suicides, and whatnot. So you need to understand this. Okay, Rohit Vemula incident was something which was based on this. There is institutional barrier, higher dropout rates. There is limited access to quality education for them. The rural schools, you go to to a government school or a primary school of, say, for example, Bihar, you will understand the reality. There is policy gap, delayed scholarship, unfilled reserve seats. Okay, financial constraints. The quality education is becoming increasingly commodified and commodified. The quality education, what does quality education means? Quality education means that education, first of all, the institution should provide dignity. A children is not being provided dignity in the school system, will never be able to keep his or her head held high. Confidence gets shattered. Second, the pedagogy. The quality of pedagogy is extremely poor. The relevance of education, it is again very poor. The teachers training, the people are writing APAL, Apple. Okay, they don't know who gave national anthem, who gave national song. This is the reality. Then we have education system where there are para teachers. A government teacher is employed and he is employing some para teachers giving 5,000. He is going to teach. And this is not, again, this is based on former IAS, who was education secretary, has written at length in the book. So these are some examples which are ever prevalent. And this leads to perpetuation of inequality. If you get a poor quality education, poor quality health, your physical, your mental, your skill level, everything is below. And this acts like a VCS cycle. You continue to be in that loop of VCS cycle. Loss of talent, underrepresentation leadership. As I told you, the top of the hierarchy, you will see lesser and lesser number of the people coming from the depressed class community. And it is threat to social justice. It is threat to the constitutional morality. So we need to have combat discrimination through awareness campaigns, policy reforms is needed. Okay, financial assistance, more scholarship, ensure timely disbursement. We have very good schemes. We are very good on paper, but our implementation is extremely poor. This is the biggest criticism of our bureaucracy. So it acts in a very snail pace manner. I went to one of the government hospitals and I was going through the medical examination as part of your CSC interview process. And one of the things that one of the doctors said to me that this building has been constructed in 20 years. If 2 years more would have been taken, then it would be as equal to the time taken to construct the Taj Mahal. So this is the level of implementation of the bureaucracy. This is the biggest criticism. Okay. And mental health support is needed. In India, if you say you are feeling anxiety or if you say you are mentally suffering, they will consider you as pagal. It's a taboo. Either you are a totally retarded person or you are a sound person. There is no middle ground in India. You can't even talk these things to your parents. Can you talk this? No. There's a taboo. You need to engage corporates, CSR activities. They are comparatively better in terms of implementation of things in a fast track manner. We have schemes like Share schemes. So it supports underprivileged SC and OBC students with high quality coaching for competitive examination. There is National Fellowship Scheme as well. And then we have schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which is a kind of a model to increase the awareness. Okay. So every Rohit Vemula lost to institutional discrimination is a failure of the Republic of India and a shame and a blot to the democracy of India. And a reminder that constitutional equality must be lived and not merely legislated, but should not remain as a dead letter in the constitution scheme of India. Now comes your child marriage. What can be most aberrant thing in any society? That is child marriage. Children are supposed to be free. Children are supposed to be a torchbearer of the future generation. How can you kill their all aspiration by marrying them when they are just in a tender age? Without their wish, they are not emotionally or physically ready. This is killing the future. Now, why it is still existing in a democratic nation, having all the constitutional and legal framework? What is the reason? The first reason is patriarchy and gender inequality. So girls are viewed as parayadan, boj, economic burdens, specifically in rural areas, which have higher rates compared to urban area. It is double. In rural area, the prevalence is 47%. In urban area, the prevalence is 27%, according to Census 2011. So this is the first and most important reason. Second is poverty. So family is in poverty. Again, it is also linked to patriarchy. They marry off daughters to reduce financial burden because they have to give dowry. Again, it is linked to patriarchy. And then cultural beliefs, which is again interlinked to patriarchy. They marry soon their girls to ensure protecting the purity. What is the honor? The honor of the family is based on the sexual morality that is imposed on a woman. Okay, and you will see people talking about honors who are in abject poverty. What honor and dignity this causes that they are resorting to all of this. So this is again related to a culture. Okay. Then lack of education and fear of safety, weak law enforcement. This you will write. Weak law enforcement you will write everywhere. Adverse consequences, there are extreme adverse consequences. You are denying the entire joyful childhood and freedom to choose their life path. So it is a violation of the human rights. Then it leads to physical health risks. Women at a very young age, and they are in continuous pregnancy cycles, reproductive health damage that takes place. 6.8% of women aged 15 to 19 were mothers or pregnant, according to National no, Family Health Survey 5. Forced sexual activity or marital rape, domestic violence, they're subject to it. And they suffer immense psychological impact, stress, anxiety, depression, and PTSD due to family burdens and experiences of violence. And there is intergenerational poverty cycle, which runs a vicious cycle. We have SDG Goal 5. It violates it. It talks about gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. But this particular act is violating this. Okay. Government measures, so there is a law, but the enforcement is very, very poor. We have schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which was fairly successful. Not just wanted to have, like any other scheme, just provisions, but wanted to create awareness. We have Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, that is saving schemes, encouraging families to invest in girls' future, promoting the financial security. And there is Child Lines, number 1098. So it is a kind of an emergency helpline providing immediate support for children at risk. State level initiative as well, like West Bengal has Kanya Shri scheme, Rupa Shri schemes. Rajasthan action approach is there. Now there is a debate on raising the legal marriage age. So proposal to raise women age to 21 years, and there is a connotation attached to it. It improves the maternal and child health, both. That is why this is being propounded. The concern is that 61% of women aged 20 to 24 married before 21, risking mass criminalization. Legal reform without any kind of social improvement will not work. Way forward, again, similar legal enforcement, community engagement, child marriage free village is a very good initiative. Like open defecation free campaign, education and capacity building, and then financial empowerment. So, to end this practice, we need to bring cultural, economic, and social changes at the grassroots level. And this is in India's commitment to SDG Target 5.3, which demands accelerated progress through education, economic empowerment, and community-driven change. And in this Vivah, Mukt, Bharat Abhiyan, so this is to achieve the SDG goal. Here, all the things are pretty similar. However, I have given a lot of facts, status of child marriages in India. Okay, and we have regional disparity. State with higher prevalences include Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Telangana, Tripura, and West Bengal. Globally, also, it is prevalent. 40 million girls aged 15 and 19 are married or in unions worldwide. We have socioeconomic inequality. So 48% of girls with no education married before 18. Only 4% among girls with higher education. So clearly, education has a good impact. And wealth also. So from the lowest income quintile, 40% child marriages are there. And in highest income quintile, only 8% prevalence is there. Okay. The highest prevalence is in West Bengal, 42%, in Bihar, 40%, Tripura, 39% among women aged 18 to 29 years. Okay. Way forward, socio-economic intervention, community-led campaigns at village level, including women self-help groups, youth clubs, and accelerate the progress through community mobilization and government enforcement. We need to have data-driven targeting, use district-level data. As I told you, data is very, very important. We discussed the universal way forward. What gets accounted gets solved. So this is very, very important. We are very poor in terms of data counting. Dowry system, so it is related to, again, patriarchy. So why dowry system? Again, I will talk about the two notions. Women are parayadan and both or burden on the family. These two are the notions. Secondly, anuloma form of marriage is sanctioned in the society. So generally, the status of women can be from lower caste or lower class, and the father wants to marry in the upper class or upper caste. And from here, giving the money is something which became more and more institutionalized. These all cultural notions have led this practice to continue. And this still remains, despite increasing literacy rate, despite our 75 plus years of independence, despite dowry being prohibited in 1961 itself, it is still prevalent because of these notions. Okay.